So the Meta Quest 3 is just around the corner, and as much as we don't know everything about this headset, we do know quite a lot. And in this video I want to break down everything we know, including little hints and tips that we've got from a recently leaked unboxing video. But yes, with the popularity of the Meta Quest 2, I'm pretty confident that the Meta Quest 3 being an upgrade on that is only going to be a big success. So let's take a look at what shell that success is going to come in. Firstly, the Meta Quest 3 is going to be a smaller headset, and I mean smaller in terms of how far it protrudes from your face. Now the Meta Quest 2 does stick out quite a bit, and the problem is with a weighty headset that has a battery in it, standalone, like the Quest 2, that has a lot of weight around your face. Now it seems like the Meta Quest 3 is going to have a similar weight, but because of that smaller size and the smaller profile, hopefully that's not going to be as uncomfortable when turning your head, as the weight is much closer to you. It's going to put a lot less strain on your cheekbones. The Meta Quest 3 will have pancake lenses, which is a massive upgrade on the Fresnel lenses that you get in the majority of VR headsets. Now I previously have reviewed the Pico 4, which was sort of a Quest 2 competitor that had pancake lenses, and honestly the pancake lenses were phenomenal. They have a much better sweet spot than the Fresnel lenses that you get on the PlayStation VR 2 or the Quest 2, and they will provide a much clearer image with a lot less God rays and stuff like that in your vision. Now there should also be better pass-through and the ability to do mixed reality, and there are 3 sensors as you can see on the front of the headset. There's actually multiple sensors inside those 3 little things, but that's loads of bunch of different things for depth perception and obviously better color pass-through. It's high fidelity color pass-through, which compared to the Quest 2's pass-through is going to be a massive leap from that grainy black and white thing. Actually getting something which looks somewhat similar to real life will be a huge leap forward, and that should enable us to be able to use mixed reality a lot better on this headset. The Quest Pro was a big leap on that, and hopefully this will be a better thing still with the introduction with some mixed reality gaming. There is a new processor, the Snapdragon XR2. Now that processor is rumored to be 2, even 3 times as powerful as the Quest 2's current processor, which means you're going to be able to render a lot more in games, and you're going to have a much better graphical experience than you currently get on the Quest 2. Now whether there'll be some Quest 3 exclusives or people are still going to be releasing games for the Quest 2, that's something that we'll just have to wait for the future. Chances are, like any sort of console, new generation of console, there's going to be a little bit of crossover where you'll get slightly better performance on the higher model until eventually the other one enters the abyss. I think the Quest 2 will stay around for a little while though. Now this headset should be launching at Meta Connect on the September, I think the 27th, and we're looking at a price tag of around $499. And as much as they haven't actually announced a price tag for England and the UK and so elsewhere in the world, I'm pretty sure the UK price tag will probably be $499 as well, based on how they price the Quests. It's $299 at the moment, and it's also £299. So I'm assuming it's going to have sort of a like for like, even though our pounds are worth slightly more than the dollar. Don't get me started. Now the headset should have a 30% resolution jump. That means we're looking at least 2 2K displays, and that should be like a nice jump to make use of some of that extra graphical power we have. Unfortunately, we're not jumping to OLED displays. It is still LCD displays. As much as it would have been nice to have OLED, I understand it with the sort of extra expenses with the pancake lenses and stuff. This is the route they've gone down. I think LCD is fine. I don't necessarily think it's as good as OLED, but it's not the end of the world. It'll be interesting to see what they look like and how good the colours are. I've tested a fair few headsets, some with fantastic colours, some with not so good colours. I'm not entirely sure if it supports HDR. I'd love it to. I think that would be a massive improvement, and it would just make sort of games just look that much better. So come on, Meta, give us HDR. Again, we're looking at 120Hz displays as well as what is currently available on the Quest 2. Now, it did get upgraded to 120Hz over time, so that wasn't something that came out with launch on the Quest 2. So I'm assuming this will come with it at launch, and it won't be sort of an upgrade down the line. Now, it's unlikely that this headset's going to have anything like eye tracking. From what we wear, it's going to be the sort of standard thing. It's not going to be like the PlayStation VR 2 where they can do foveated rendering and stuff like that, which would have been very cool, but you can't have everything. Battery life should be similar to the Quest 2. I don't think they've said that it's going to be any particularly better, and it definitely shouldn't be too much worse. Rumours are that it's going to be pretty much the same, plus or minus a couple of minutes. Now, you will notice on some of the pictures there is an IPD wheel, which is a very good thing, because on the Quest 2 there are sort of 3 IPD presets. And I think the outrage of that has prompted Meta to be a little bit more precise with the IPD on this next one. So you can pick exactly where your IPD is by manually turning a wheel. We all want it, and Meta have finally given it back to us. Now they have moved a few things around as well. So there's a new power button, which is going to be on the left-hand side of the headset as opposed to what would be your right hand side. And also the USB-C port has been moved from the headset itself to the actual band bit that sort of is on the hinge. So do bear in mind there is a chance that if you have some Quest 2 specific head straps and stuff like that, they might not be compatible with this. We'll have to wait until closer time to find out exactly what size fits. I know this particular one I have here, I've got a few in my office because I'm testing out a few, but this particular one might get away with it, it might not. If you're currently using one, and if you're using one of the ones that sort of clip over the entire thing, there's a good chance that that isn't going to be compatible. Now the controllers, they've ditched the tracking rings. I've got an adapter on this. I've got some things on this controller, so we'll get into that another time. They're ditching the tracking ring, and we're basically being left with a very similar design to the Quest Pro controllers, except there's no cameras on them. So I'm not entirely sure exactly how the tracking is working. I'm assuming they're just getting better at sort of tracking through your hands. And stuff like that, but the Quest Pro, which has its own individual tracking and processors in the controllers, we don't have that for the Quest 3. That being said, they are saying that these controllers are going to be more ergonomic. How that actually looks and how it feels in my hand, I'm yet to hold one, so I don't know. But also they should have something called True Touch haptics. Now what I'm hoping for is that this is something similar to the PlayStation DualSense, where it has sort of haptics that can move around and you can sort of feel around the controller. So it's something where when you're holding something, you can really feel exactly where you're holding it. I'm hoping that it has the same thing with triggers, maybe. I don't think they'll have adaptive triggers like on the PSVR 2, but maybe just something with a little sort of vibration, a bit of haptic feedback when you're firing a trigger. That would be really cool. Now I don't think the sort of haptics on the Quest 2 are that bad, but if we can bump that up and it makes it a little bit better, I mean, that's something that can really spike the immersion. And now there was a recently released leak of an unboxing of this headset, and there's a few things to take from that little unboxing. First of all, the boxes are going to be a lot smaller than the Quest 2 box. Somewhere in here I have a Quest 2 box, but it's an absolutely massive thing, which is actually unnecessarily really when you think about the size of the Quest and the controllers. Now the Quest is even smaller this time, but they've actually trimmed the box down to literally like a square. So it's a much smaller box, means it's going to be much more efficient for them to ship, which obviously hopefully is helping with keep the cost down of this thing. But also there's a few other little goodies in this box that we can sort of delve into. Now there is a new head strap. You can see the new head strap in this unboxing video, where the sort of back of the head strap sort of splits into two, and that, I'm assuming, is going to make it a much more comfortable device to wear. Again, I've not tried something looking like that. It's quite unique from what I can tell, so it'll be interesting to see how that actually feels when it's on. Also, I've heard a few people say it looks like the sort of eye guard cover thing isn't removable, although I definitely saw a video with Mark Zuckerberg showing off the pancake lenses where he takes off that particular cover.
Pancake lenses that we've designed, it's also a lot. It's also a lot.
So it definitely is removable. I think it just probably looks a little bit more flush, which is a good thing. It's going to be a nicer looking headset. Another thing to notice from this unboxing is that you can see on the bottom of the headset 3 little circles. That could be a multiple thing. Some people say it might be a microphone. I don't think it will be a microphone, because normally you can get a microphone with just one little tiny hole. I don't think it's a microphone. But what I do think it probably is just a little port so you can charge this on a dock instead of having to plug in a USB-C cable. Similar to how they do it with the Quest Pro. I don't think this dock is going to come with the headset, so I think if you want this dock, you're going to probably have to splash the cash. But it will be interesting to see if some third-party docks get introduced making use of this feature. Now, I know the controllers will be using a AA battery. I'm pretty sure it's going to be just one AA battery per controller, but we will find out close to the day. I don't think if you get a dock for the Quest 3, it will have charging capability for the controllers, because I think they're going to be just a AA battery. Now, if you can get rechargeable controllers, maybe you'll be able to plug those in. Or maybe if you want to upgrade to the Quest Pro controllers, you can pair them with the Quest 3 and then charge it on the same dock. Maybe this even fits on the Quest Pro dock, who knows? But at the moment, I think that's everything. There's a good chance I've missed some things. There's quite a lot we actually know about this. We are also going to find out a lot more on that September 27th Meta Connect event. So hopefully we'll find out a lot more information. Hopefully it gets released then. If it gets released then, will be pre-orders and orders galore. So hopefully we'll get our hands on one ASAP Rocky. But guys, I hope you found that video helpful. If you're into VR and the Quest and all that stuff, why don't you subscribe? I make tons of videos about this thing. So subscribe down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Woo!